This is Top Shop Podcast.
Shop Podcast.
Top Shop Podcast.
Podcast for automotive service business owners by Paul Donahue.
So, hey, here at the MAP conference in beautiful Orlando, again, a phenomenal guest to have on the Top Shop Podcast, DavidBoyington, Vice President of Strategic Accounts at Advance Auto Parts. Advance Auto Parts, how many stores now?
5,200 corporate owned. Yeah.
5,200.
Yeah.
All right, this guy might know a little bit about some stuff. So David's based in Woodstock, Georgia. If you don't know where that's at, it is a beautiful little town. I've actually been there. He's currently the Vice President of Strategic Accounts at Advance, bringing experience from previous roles at Advance Auto Parts, CarQuest Auto Parts, and Mitchell 1. With robust skill set, includes selling, customer retention, management, cold selling. You've been down my road, right?
Yeah.
And more. David contributes valuable insights to the industry, and we really appreciate having him on the show. So just a couple questions. Supply chain.
Yeah.
You're the guy to ask this question.
Yeah, right.
Supply chain and parts availability. So how is your company addressing the challenges of supply chain disruptions and ensuring a consistent supply of quality parts for independent auto repair shops?
Oh, that's a great question. First of all, thanks for having me here. It's great to be part of this. So, supply chain is near and dear because if the part's not available, you can't sell it, right? So you've got to have the part. So for us, first of all, we have a wonderful team. We're headquartered in Raleigh, North Carolina, and we've got a really robust team that works to source parts. Some of the things we do, we source direct. We've got relationships with companies and manufacturers overseas, and we have a team that spend time with them and making sure that the quality we have that we're looking for is there.
Right.
We also work with direct manufacturers and distributors here in the United States as well, obviously, and have a long-standing relationship there. But we try to leverage our buying power to make sure we get some priority access to the parts. That I think is a differentiator.
Yeah, there's probably a little bit of that going on out there to get a hold of the parts, right, in the first place. So, so it sounds like your company's got massive infrastructure.
And some of the rigor that goes on behind the scenes is we spend a lot of time. I would say certainly I get weekly updates, but I'm sure people are looking at it daily. Like, what is our in-stock position at our DCs and at our stores, and where do we need to move to make sure that they stay at that optimum level.
All right. What investments is your company, is Advance Auto Parts, making in terms of technology and training programs to help repair shops stay current with rapidly evolving automotive technology such as electric and autonomous vehicles?
Oh, that's awesome. I love this question. So one, we have CTI. CarQuest Technical Institute. It's our training arm. We train thousands of technicians a year. We've got a really robust content, and our team at CTI are constantly developing. We'll call it the static old school content, like brakes, right? You think that's kind of just a one and done. It's not. You still have to keep up with that technology. But to your point, ADAS, electric vehicles. We're cutting edge there. We're definitely cutting edge. I would give you an example, and this goes back to when Prius first came out, and I won't name a name, but a large organization in the repair business came to CTI, that's 20 some odd years ago, and we worked together and we provided them with their very first training, content, and support around how to work on the Prius, because that had the large battery, and there's certain ways that you're supposed to disconnect that before you just start working on the vehicle, and that goes back that long ago.
That long ago. That long ago.
So we've been around it for a while, and it certainly is something that we think is vitally important for our technicians.
Okay, are there any specific tools, resources, or partnerships that you offer to repair shops to enhance their diagnostic repair capabilities?
Absolutely, yes.
Yes,
so
I thought you did.
It's like you're serving it up for me, right?
Yeah.
So we have two products that we're really proud of. One is called MotoLogic. It's
MotoLogic?
MotoLogic.
Yep. Okay.
It's repair information. We source the repair information from the OEs, and essentially the easy way to look at it is we take OE information and put it into a single repository that has a single search engine functionality. So, you don't go to Toyota and you learn how to use their search engine, then you go to Ford and you learn how to use theirs.
Right.
We bring it all together, and you just need to know how to use our search engine, and you can find that OE content that you need to repair the vehicle. So we have that available for technicians. And then we have another one that we actually showed today to the MAP conference, and that is it's called Moto Visuals.
Moto Visuals, okay.
It's content designed to help the service advisor educate the consumer on services that they're
unfamiliar with,
that they may not, why they need a certain service done. Why would you tell me to change my brake fluid? That doesn't make sense. No one's ever told me to do that, right?
Right.
And so we have over 360 video, we'll call it vignettes, that service advisor can use when describing a service to a consumer that doesn't really understand how vehicles work. And it's a wonderful product. And that's been around for a while as well, and we're super proud of it.
All right, awesome. Environmental regulations and sustainability. How's your company adapting to supporting repair shops and meeting increasingly stringent environmental regulations such as the emissions standards and disposal of hazmats, hazardous waste?
One thing that we do is all of our stores, we have oil tanks. So so there's a disposal. If most of the time, I think many shops now, they have services that they rely on. But if there was a need, we can support that.
Right.
I think really probably the thing that we're doing as an organization, if you want to call it sort of environmental or green, is, like we're trying to lower our emission footprint, if you will. So one example is all of our stores have been outfitted with, LED lighting, and, that sort of stuff. There's, other things that we're doing, to try to support that initiative.
It's the hottest topic for independent auto repair shops, ways of hiring and finding techs. And any advice there?
I would say first and foremost is get active locally, right? Get into your local, whether it's high schools or colleges. Get involved. Get your voice heard, because guess what? The OEs are involved. And they're gonna get the cream of the crop if our independent shops' voices are not heard. And the very first thing you can do is get involved locally. That to me is the first thing.
Okay, I agree. Locally, it used to be every high school, like I said before, used to have a auto mechanics as a course. Not anymore. All of society was sold the 4-year degree. And now 80% of them are working at Denny's or whatever.
Yeah. It's coming back, I think.
It is coming back because it's a hands-on trade that is not the grease monkey. It's 80 to 100 grand these techs are making, which is a really good, middle-income salary.
For sure.
Okay, so the last question is, how important is MAP to your company?
Well, I mean, I would say I'm certainly biased because I think it's a wonderful organization. I think that for us, it's important because we're an industry that really, quite frankly, isn't trusted, right?
Correct.
Most consumers have, in some way, shape, or form, a distrust for it. And it's crazy to me. You'll hear somebody say they'll pay their plumber to come out and they'll pay the fee for them to get there. They'll pay whatever they need to do to get it done. But if you were to say, do you pay a diagnostic fee to have your check engine? Oh, no, I'm not paying that. That's crazy. I'm not paying it.
Right.
And so MAP can help, I think, break some of that stuff down. And I think it adds credibility to our organization or to our industry. And I think the shops that leverage it, show themselves as a step above. Yeah,
this is a constant topic. We've brought it up many, many times today. So every time we decide to take on a client with Advanced Digital Automotive Group, one of the very first things that we do is make sure that we get the trust badges. You guys got good reviews. They're hidden. They need to be in the header. So the moment that the website opens, you've got your Google reviews, you've got whatever there. And then for less than the price of lunch, literally, it's one of the lowest investment trust badges that you guys can get on your website. So when a consumer goes to your site, they see these trust badges that you belong to MAP, that you belong to AMRA, and it literally is less than the cost of a lunch. So it's subconscious, but it sends a signal to the consumer that you can be trusted, and consumer don't know why they chose this shop over this shop, but we do. That's the business that we're in.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
How does MAP help build trust with your customers?
Well, first of all, I think it gives them, it gives them the information they need to know whether, do I need to replace that, or is it a suggestion? And it helps. It helps the service advisors articulate that in a way that I think builds trust because it's documented.
Right. And this is another psychological factor. It's called third-party information. If I say it, they disbelieve it. But if somebody else says it and it's recommended, then they tend to believe it.
Yep.
So MAP provides you a third party, so it's not you telling the consumer that, hey, you need to fix this strut because it got 120,000 miles on it, and it was, made for 60. But you've got, and you deal with consumers like that. I'm sure you guys do. But you've got an organization that says, hey, this is what the manufacturer recommends. This is about the lifetime of that part. This is why your car's sitting a little bit low. You might want to replace that part. But how long has Advanced Auto Parts been a part of MAP?
Oh my gosh, you know what? I don't know. I know I myself have been part of it for like at least 15
years personally.
Yeah.
And so,
representing Advance and CarQuest and Mitchell and such. So.
Okay, so this isn't more for the typical shop owner, but more for the corporate guys that are watching this. Why should other organizations join AMRA? And I'm sorry, corporate and the independent shop owner.
Sure.
Right, yeah.
I mean, and I've always thought, man, honestly, independent shops should be here at this meeting. I really do believe that. But so why? Well, I mean, there's a few easy ones. One, it's about, understanding what's going on in your industry. You can come to this location, you can certainly come to this kind of a meeting and you can find out what are the hot topics, what's real, what's not, and where should you spend your time, whether it's training or investing in tools or equipment or whatever it is. Networking. I mean, you can come here and it's beautiful because we're all competitors in some way, shape, or form, but we come together in this environment and we actually share. We share, some ideas, and it also gives you a chance to be in front of your customers in a different way. You know? So I think it's important, for all organizations, if you're selling something in this industry, you have a customer that's in the room I'm in right now. Right. So you should be here with them. And then I would say selfishly, the other thing is, your competitors are here. And their voice is being heard. If you're not here, good point. Your voice is not being heard, right? So
that's a really good point.
As I look around the room, I always see, I see my competitors. Yep. I see my customers, and I see my customers talking to my competitors, and that's completely fine because I'm also here talking to them as well.
The same,
and
right?
That's vital. Your voice has to be heard. So.
Okay, perfect.
For additional automotive resources and exclusive content, follow us on Spotify and subscribe to our YouTube channel to catch all our episodes. Thanks again for joining us in the driver's seat, and we'll see you next time for another thrilling episode of Top Shop.